Yate, everybody. I'm coming at you now with some Navajo cryptography. So what is Navajo? Navajo is a Native American language that was spoken primarily in this part of the United States. Now what's cryptography? You know when you put your credit card on Amazon and you buy something? Well, your credit card is then encrypted using a cryptographic system, and it secures your credit card information so no one can steal it. So Navajo cryptography then is the use of the Navajo language and creating a cryptographic system from that. Why was Navajo cryptography made? During World War I, the Native American language Choctaw was used as a way of securing messages. It worked. But then, after the war ended, different countries sent students to America to learn Native American languages. World War II then began, and the United States needed a new way of helping the Allies defeat the Axis powers and using a different sort of encryption method. Since Native American languages were all but known, they were scared because they didn't know a different way of encrypting their messages. Then luckily, one man, Philip Johnston, who was very well known throughout Washington, D.C., came forward and said, "Hey, why don't we use the Navajo language?" Since students were sent to America to learn Native American languages, the United States Marines were scared to use this system. However, Navajo was not a very widespread language, as only a handful of people outside the Navajo origins actually knew the Navajo language. Not only that, but there are very little writings in Navajo, so the United States Marines decided to try it out. This gave birth to the Navajo Code Talkers, who were later designated as Platoon 382. There were 29 Navajo Code Talkers who created a Navajo-English hybrid language in which word association was used. The first letter of the Navajo word was then given a set of English characters to help make the translation and pronunciation easier for the people who did not speak Navajo. This system was first implemented in Guadalcanal and the Solomon Islands in November of 1942. The process to use for this Navajo cryptography was the shackle protocol, in which a word was given a random string of numbers and letters and then verbally said to a decoder. The commander who gave the Navajo Code Talkers a long message to encrypt and decrypt thought the entire process would take 4 hours to complete, and wanted the platoon to beat the time. It ended up taking the platoon only 2.5 minutes to actually encode and decode the message. 2.5 years later, at the Battle of Iwo Jima, the Navajo Code Talkers had their biggest impact in the war ever. They sent and received well over 800 messages and helped the Allies take over Iwo Jima. Major Howard Connor, the signals officer, said, "Were it not for the Navajos, the Marines would never have taken Iwo Jima." Seeing their success in World War II, the United States decided to use the Navajo cryptography in the Korean War and the beginning part of the Vietnam War. Even though their actions had a big influence on the outcomes, their actions weren't declassified until 1968. President Ronald Reagan awarded everybody a certificate of recognition and gave them their own day, August 14th. In 2000, President Bill Clinton passed a law that awarded the original 29 Navajo Code Talkers a Congressional Gold Medal. In 2001, President George W. Bush awarded the last 4 members this medal. Well, that's Navajo cryptography in a nutshell. If you want to learn this very complex language, you can at duolingo.com. So until my next video, all I have to say is Ahihi du Haguni.